Hey everybody, it's me, Remy the Comic Book Poser. I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's Thursday, so you know what that means. It's time to talk about NFTs on our second ever installment of NFThursday. To learn more about today's featured project, which I'm also a holder of, the Munchie Mafia, y'all check it out after this. Two quick announcements before I get into talking about today's project. Number one, don't forget to join us on Shop Talk tonight at 9:30 Central, where me, J1 Jelly, and anybody else who shows up is going to talk about books that came out in the last 2 weeks. And don't forget, if you commented on last week's NFThursday video focused on the Crypto Cave Club, that you are entered to win an NFT that I will give away live tomorrow night. You can still comment on that video up until we do the drawing, so go comment on that video. I'll try and remember to put it up here. Number two, don't forget, on Saturday, you can find me on Papa Wheelie's channel at, I think it's 5 Pacific, so 7 Central, 8 Eastern, for the Hell on Wheels auction, where I'm putting together some pretty interesting things up for auction, so I'm excited to see what people think in my first live YouTube auction in what feels like 6 months. So without further ado, let's talk about today's project. So in last week's video, I mentioned that the two things that tend to bring me into projects are comic or gaming utilities. And I was introduced to the Munchie Mafia by hanging out in a Crypto Cave Club space, where I learned that the Munchie Mafia is one of the partnered projects which will be featured in the game. That I believe the first character that you see, the lovely panda-looking gentleman right here in the 21st century version of The Last Supper, the Potfather, is going to be one of the bosses. And in the last 6 weeks, the project has minted out the first version, the Potfather token, the panda in the middle, and they are getting ready to open up the mint for the second character, Tony Montana the Tiger, with good old Scarface reference. So in terms of looking at their website, themunchiemafia.com, you can check out a couple of things. First, all of these ties here are reveals for upcoming characters that, we knew about the Potfather. We've known about Tony the Tiger, or Tony Montana the Tiger, publicly for, I want to say, more, over a month. That, again, time isn't linear and I'm easily confused. But in terms of looking at things that are important, you can look at their white paper at the top of the website, and an updated version of the white paper is coming out soon, shortly before the pre-mint for people who are Potfather holders, their OG holder list, which is the 3rd and 4th of August. But you can see a couple of cool things. First, what drew me to the Munchie Mafia, aside from the community that I learned about more over time, is the art process. First, all of these characters are hand-painted and then digitized, and then technology does its thing to do all the traits and whatnot. And I'm going to drop a video in here that was shared in the Discord, kind of looking at the painting process of Tony Montana. What has really drawn me to the Munchie Mafia, aside from the art, right? People who look at NFTs and want to hold on to them for long periods of time want to look at the utilities, right? And one of the things that has really impressed me is that this is a community that is focused on all kinds of self-improvement, that there are mental health spaces, and they are big celebrators of mental health, especially with their Feel Good Friday Twitter space, where, we talk about the downs, celebrate the ups, and, go out the week ending on a bang. They're focused on different methods of self-improvement through things like Terrific Teaching Tuesdays, where different themed Twitter spaces to help you learn different onset skills and things like that. And I'm participating in one of their processes now, which is called the 100 Club, which is right now a book study on a particular book that I won't tell you what the title is until we're done. But it deals with manifestation, wealth, desire, all of these kinds of things that really, cause some self-reflection. And we're 2 sessions in to this now, and it's been 2 of the best hours that I've had in terms of personal development in quite some time. The other thing that draws me to them is that there is a charitable element of the Munchie Mafia where there are 2 organizations that they are tied to, the International Rhino Foundation and the Rainforest Trust, where they show how much money from either minting or resales through OpenSea get paid forward. And then you can look here at the version 1 of the roadmap in terms of different things that were paid forward. And you saw me get very excited. I was not lucky enough to win an extra $100, but I did win some of the Munchie Mafia communion cookies that you can look at, my posts on Instagram and Twitter when I got those here. And then the second item that I won simply from a blind minting draw is a pretty sweet Noto watch, which I'm not wearing right now because I'm just sitting in my basement and I ain't got a dress to impress anybody. We are on the verge of the, second character dropping, Tony Montana the Tiger, and the OG pre-mint, like I mentioned a few moments ago, is August 3rd and 4th. So there are a lot of people who look at, NFT collections that especially build over time in terms of the addition of different characters, different, accessories, different moving parts for all kinds of different projects. So a lot of people are concerned about, missing out on version 1 or, character 1 when character 2 comes out. And that's a real concern with the Munchie Mafia because the Potfather is a collection of only 400 pieces. So there are a lot of people who are wondering, how can I get one of the original ones? And as you can tell by looking at the Munchie Mafia collection on OpenSea, right, their total volume is going to be lower than some of the other projects that you'll see. Some people look at that and go, no, that's not a project that's going to blow up overnight and make me $1 kajillion. But what other people will see when they look at this, especially when we scroll further down on the OpenSea collection, is one of the reasons why the total volume is low is because the people who are minting, Potfathers are people who are holding on to them. So if we look at the floor, and again, I'm recording this on Wednesday night and it's dropping on Thursday morning. If we look at the floor, it's currently 0.01. So depending on the price of Ethereum, it can be, $100 plus. So if I were to click on this now, right, where Ethereum is at, the very first one on the floor, 0.01 is $152. And you get the cool color scheme on this panda, the cigar, which I'm quite jealous of because there have been speculations about, looking at the use of a cigar as something down the road in terms of utility. And then I also like the Save Us tattoo and the teardrop, like what that means this Potfather killed someone in prison. But if you look at this floor, right, there are only, 5, 10, 11, 12, and this Tron is insane that this is one of 4 of that piece. And then you've got number 13 listed at 40 ETH. I wish somebody would pay me 40 ETH for something. But you can go through the collection, right? Of a 400-piece collection, there are only 13 pieces on the floor, which speaks volumes. And if you want some guesses as to what Tony Montana could look like, in addition to some of the small reveals that have happened on Twitter, you can see some of the different versions of traits, of, character homages that happened, and I'm real jealous of all of the people who had the Wolverines. That, you know, there's a Jason, you've got, you know, rocking a beanie. There are a couple of Star Wars themed ones. But you can see, right, all the different kinds of traits that pop up across this 400-piece collection. So, if you are interested in, you know, trying to get something either in the Blood series, you know, that you probably have better luck finding a Blood series one on the floor versus the Persona skin, right? You can look here and see some of the blood red elements. I'm also super intrigued by Laser Eyes Guy, but if you're a Tron fan, right, there's one right there for you. I'm very excited to see what this project could grow to, knowing that of the original 400 pieces minted, right, there are only 13 currently sitting on the floor. And I'm going to click back real fast to OpenSea. Full disclosure, I am the Discord, dev, for the Munchie Mafia, so I know some things that other people don't know, but really, I'm just here to go like, ooh, I can install that bot. But here's where I'm just going to kind of randomly point on the screen and pop up a couple of different images, because I asked Lester, the one of the co-founders of the project, which images I could or couldn't show, and I think he was probably either asleep when I asked that question or dealing with his kiddo. So you can look at some of the things that have been dropped to see some of the elements that may show up in the second character in the Tony Montana drop. The last thing that I want to show off in the same fashion that I did with the Crypto Cave Club, right, is to show that, you know, in terms of the same way that I've talked about unboxing other Funko Pops, cards, comic books, right, that this is something that I'm going to recommend, and you can see that I'm vested in it because I minted 9 Potfathers, and you can see that we're only at 8 because I listed 2 on the floor to try and get people in at a bit of a cheaper price before the mint. And while I'm still conflicted on whether or not I'm going to give away one of my OG Potfathers for the people who comment on this video, what this does mean is I'm guaranteed 9 spots in the OG free mint, which, you know, I'm going to take those because it would be foolish not to. But in terms of any other minting ability, I'm going to pick up a couple of more of these because this is not just a project, but a community that I believe in and am willing to, you know, buy JPEGs, as folks say. But that's because I think the art and the community that is being built in the Munchie Mafia is something that is quite cool. So if I don't give away a Potfather, know that the person that I draw on next Thursday's Shop Talk, which is going to be the 27th of July, that you will get one of the OG pre-mint Tony Montana the Tigers that I pick up. And who knows, if I get a rare, I might send you a rare one. Unless it's Wolverine, because that Wolverine is beautiful. But what do you think? Seeing the art, if you've looked at the white paper, if you've interacted with folks from the Munchie Mafia on Twitter Spaces or anywhere else, what's something that you like about this project? What are there questions that you have about this project? Because I know that, you know, Lester, Munchie himself, will watch this video and probably answer any questions, especially if there are good ones that I point to his attention, because he's very good, very reflective, and very community-driven, and that's why a lot of the traits that you're going to see in Tony Montana the Tiger are going to be traits that are suggested from the community, and also knowing what the next character is. Some of the traits that didn't get used in Character 2, there have been ways to get it involved in Character 3, and I know that once it gets to the point where the third character becomes public, that there will be another kind of open call for what kinds of things that you would like to see reflected in the next version of the Mint. And it's that kind of open transparency and really community service that I think is really, really cool about this community. So like I said a second ago, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Remember, a comment gets you a spot on the wheel to win something from the Munchie Mafia, given away on July 27th from yours truly. And as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by, and have a good one.